Have you ever wondered the differences between some Jet and Fazley guitars? Well, here's 6 things I've learned through my experience with both. Well, let's find out if it's 6. I mean, my maths isn't that great. Here we go, number 1, finish/colours. Compared to Fazley, Jet have some more unique and limited edition colour finish options. But in my opinion, their product images are quite inaccurate, or even misleading. I was looking to build a Daphne Blue Strat parts caster, until I came across this lovely Jet JS450, which from the product pictures looked like the perfect blue. Check it out. This Jet JS450 was the first Jet guitar I got, and it's been modded quite a bit since then, so it doesn't look exactly the same as when I first got it. Here's how it looked. So I ordered it and it arrived, and I was a bit disappointed to see that it looked more Sonic Blue or Seafoam Green, or somewhere in between. To be fair, the lighting used at home versus in studio conditions are expected to be quite different, but I actually thought they'd sent me the wrong guitar, and so did the staff at GAC when I sent them this picture. I'm so sorry about this, Steve. I think you're right, that one looks like Seafoam Green. And then they offered to exchange it for a blue one. Very cool of GAC, great service. I then emailed the same picture to Jet Guitars and asked them if this looked correct to them. And they said, "Hi, the shade of blue we use is quite pale, so it's not a strong colour, more pastelish. Sometimes photos on website are worked on in post-production." Here is a reverb example of the colour, and they sent across a link to what the guitar really looks like, which did look the same as what arrived. The Fazley Phynicas are mostly the same colours, but I think their products are far more misleading. In some cases the product pictures don't even do the guitar justice. Check out these examples. Number 2. Shades of roasted maple necks and logos. Jet's earlier runs of guitars had these kind of holographic-esque logos, which I actually preferred. I'll put some pics up for a better look. Before they changed to their current white pearlescent logo. It's no big deal, but something to note is the early run of Jets, all with the holographic logo, have a much lighter shade of roasted maple, and it seems to be quite consistent across all examples I've seen, which I like. Once the logo changed to the pearlescent one, Jet did a batch of guitars with a much darker roasted maple neck, kinda similar to what you would see on a Harley Benton Fusion, or even darker, and that's what this blue one came with. All the Fazley Phynicas that I've had my hands on, which is around 9 now, have all consistently had the lighter shade of roasted maple. I like that. I contacted Jet about this too when I was complaining about the colour accuracy of this blue Jet, and they said this: "Hi, the degree of roasted maple can vary from batch to batch, from darker to lighter, it depends on the wood itself. Newer models have a silver logo as opposed to abalone, so it's a little more discreet." Which is fair enough, but when you add up the previous 2 points, you see a guitar online that you think looks one way and you order it, and then receive it and it looks another way, where the colour is lighter, more pastelish than the product images, and the neck is quite darker than the product images, then you end up with quite a different looking guitar than you expected. Well, at least that was my experience. So I don't know, there's a lesson here. Don't judge a guitar by its don't judge a Jet guitar by its... Anyway, doesn't matter. Carrying on. Number 3. Pickguards and Plastics. On the Jet JT300, JS300, JS400 and the Fazley Phynica FSST720, they use mismatched plastics and pickguards, which is a bit of an annoyance for me, but I'm kinda weird. I really don't like the aged pinky cream stuff against different things. That's why I've changed this pickguard and pretty much all of them, because I don't like that mismatch. Jet Fazley, I know you watch all my videos, so please fix this. Number 4. QC. Quality control. Okay, so these are budget-friendly guitars, and you expect imperfections and some lack of consistency at these price points. I mean, even Fender and Gibson struggle with these issues at like 10 times the price. So my white Fazley there had a broken tuner after about 2 weeks use, but I upgraded them to locking tuners, which I was going to do anyway. Then after about 2 months, one of the wires disconnected from the output jack on the same guitar, and I've also since upgraded this to a pure tone socket. Highly recommended mod. And the same output jack issue happened to another Fazley Phynica from one of the guitars that I have at work. So not great if you're a beginner, but I've seen the same kind of thing happen with lower end squares and Epiphones over the years too. Fairly often actually. This blue Jet had a dodgy screw hole at the back plate. Here's a wee picture for you. Pretty much a non-issue, but these also have the same poor quality tuners as the Fazley Phynica FSST 720s. You would definitely want to upgrade these. There's a video on it. A few months ago I ordered a Jet JS450 in Lake Placid Blue, which was a limited edition colour, only 5 available in the UK on the first run. The one I ordered had a lacquer crack in the neck heel at the pocket. Not a huge deal, a fairly common issue, but it was a new guitar, so I contacted the retailer and asked for an exchange for the one that they had left in stock. But they sent me this picture of the one they had left. It was worse than the one I received. The retailer also told me that another customer had experienced the same issue with a lacquer crack at the neck pocket. So on that run, 3 out of the 5 that I know about had the same defect, lacquer cracks at the neck pocket. Not good. I ended up returning mine, but I'm planning on taking my chances with the second run because I did love that guitar, and the colours are quite accurate to the pictures too. For a change, Jet. Number 5. Customer service. I've contacted Jet twice and Bax Music once. The Jet experience was not great in my opinion. The first time I contacted them was about the issues I had with this blue Jet JS300, which I've probably already bored you to tears with by now. If you're still watching. Are you still watching? If you're still watching, hit the like button. Give me a like. If you like it, mind you. Alright. Anyway. So I wasn't happy with the dark shade of roasted maple neck that I received on the Jet JS300, and I could have exchanged it for another one, but as Jet said, the degree of roasted maple can vary from batch to batch, so I didn't want to chance it and go backward and forward several times. But I did find a great deal on a used JT300 Tele on eBay. I could tell from the product images it was the first run because it had the holographic logo, and I could see it was a much lighter shade of maple, more like what I was looking for, and I thought this would look way better against the blue, and the darker roasted maple would look better against the sunburst. Win-win, potentially. But everyone knows that Strat and Tele heel pockets are different. One's squared, one's rounded off. But the headstock shapes are different too. As the Jet guitars S-type and T-type guitars had the same headstock, I wondered if they just used the same necks and neck pockets. Which might make sense, you know, they're budget guitars. So I emailed Jet and asked this very specific question. By the way, this was all on the same email trail as before. Would you know if the neck heels between the Jet JS300 Strat and JT300 Tele are compatible? Are they the same neck? I also explained in the email that I was looking to switch necks with a Tele that I'd found on eBay and wanted to check before buying it. So are they the same neck? They said they'll ask the factory and get back to me, and they did, the next day. Here's what they said. Hi, the necks should be interchangeable. Thanks. Result, Jet JT300, eBay. Buy it now. So the Jet JT300 arrives, and guess what? Square neck heel pocket. I was disappointed. 100% the opposite of what Jet had told me after specifically asking this question, and getting a response from the factory. So at this point I'm stuck with a not so blue Strat with a really dark roasted maple fretboard that I'm not really vibing with, and a Tele that I can't return because it was sold exactly as described off eBay. I did eventually manage to get the Jet Tele neck heel carved to fit, but what a hassle. I only contacted Bax Music once. I had questions about Jet and Fazley guitars being similar, and they got back to me quickly and answered all the questions I had. Good on you. And you can find out about that up there in the previous part 1 video. The second time I contacted Jet was the same email that I'd sent to Bax asking about the differences between Jet and Fazley guitars, and Jet did not respond. Boo! And this was using a different email address than I'd been using for the questions about this guitar. Number 6. My thoughts on the companies. So a little bit of a backstory here. In 2021 I got an Eert Corsair NK3, sort of super Strat guitar. Amazing specs, looked great, but unfortunately it had some issues. Some high frets, some low frets, and the trem block string channels were defective. They hadn't been machined correctly, and the ball ends got stuck inside the guitar. It took me about 45 minutes to get them out, trying various different tools. Long nails, thin screwdrivers, Allen keys, By the way, if you ever have this problem, it was an oversized sewing needle and a hammer that eventually got the job done. Top tip for you there. So I contacted Airt and told them about the issues with the guitar. They asked me to send a video, so I sent them a video, and they basically said, sorry about that, we'll send you out a new one. Oh, and by the way, you can keep the old one. Wow, what a great company. The new one arrived and it had no issues, but in the end I didn't get on with the neck profile, so I ended up moving them both on. But I'll forever respect and admire that company. So not too long after this experience was my Jet experience. So I must admit I was kind of expecting a higher standard than I got from Jet. Just putting a bit of perspective on it, you see. As you can probably tell from all of the above, I'm not particularly impressed with Jet's customer service. But I do still love their guitars, and I'm not completely done with them yet. I'm still going to buy another Jet JS450 in Lake Placid Blue as soon as one becomes available in my local retailer. Shout out to Kenny's Music in Dundee. I don't hate Jet guitars. It is what it is, it's just a guitar brand. I actually love their guitars, and I hope they can do better in the future. I'm totally rooting for them. Come on Jet, come on, come on! Back's Shop in Fazley. With the Phynica line, basically everything I love about Jet guitars, but way cheaper and much better customer service. Sorry Jet. After reading some blurb on the Back's website, I learned that they're quite an ethical company too, and they try their best to be environmentally conscious. So good on you Back's. So have you got any experience or stories about these companies? Or about any companies really? It's always good to learn about other people's experiences, and we can share it. We can share in the comments. If you liked this story and it's impacted your life forever in a positive way, please consider subscribing to the channel. Or if you think this is more of an old man yells at cloud situation, then you can let me know that in the comments too. I mean look, it's just guitars. I really shouldn't be complaining about anything. We're living in amazing times where we can get fantastic instruments for very little money these days. So it's all good. But sometimes I could be just like a dog with a bone when it comes to certain stuff. Okay, so we'll hopefully see you in the next one. The end. See you later.